Check 1 2. Check 1 2. I don't.
I don't know anything about the status of the game right now. I haven't been paying attention.
I'll kind of recap what I saw.
Sounds hot. Okay, you're good. You're on.
Okay, welcome to Pioneer Field here for Game 3 of the Mustangs and Owls playoff series. It's a winner-take-all game today. We're a little late joining you here, but we've got a scoreless ball game headed to the top of the second. The Mustangs are the visitors today. They threatened in the top of the first. They got a runner to third base, but stranded him there. And Ben Chen is on the mound today for the Mustangs and set down the Owls in order. So clean start for the Mustangs. We're a little late today. Trey's had to rush back from Norman, Oklahoma. I mentioned last night his daughter graduated from college and had the graduation ceremony yesterday. So, Trey, I'm glad to have you back. And we've got a guest commentator with us today, JC, that's going to be providing some color commentary, and I'll do the play-by-play for a little bit of a change-up. So bear with me there. That's not my usual forte, but glad to be out here for this game. And, JC, glad to have you on the broadcast with us. You got to see that first inning just like myself. We are a little farther from the action today, but what do you think of that first inning?
No, good to be here with you. Thanks, Jeff. I thought it was great. Like as you mentioned, it was clean. Some good barrels seen out there, and so far everybody's. It's been a pretty clean game and moving along at a nice pace right now.
Yeah, Luke Esquivel actually led off the game with a base hit to center field. Just to recap what the Mustangs inning looked like, and then Zach laid down a bunt, but unfortunately it was right back to the pitcher, and the pitcher wheeled and went to second and got him at second. And then Zach was actually able to advance all the way to third on a couple of wild pitches, but couldn't get any farther, and that ended the inning. And here we are with Gianni Corral leading off. That looks like a well-hit ball, but right to the center fielder.
Yeah, we have that wind blowing in from center field that just kind of knocked that down there. So a nice, probably 15-mile-an-hour breeze.
Yeah, we've seen that in the first two games of the series. That wind coming in from right field, it's definitely holding those balls up to the outfield. But last night in the sixth inning, the Mustangs did hit 3 balls to the wall and had 3 triples in 1 inning. I don't think I've ever seen that in a baseball game at any level. So it was Mustang bats definitely came alive late last night. Colin Park grounds one to the third baseman. Sounds like we lost sound, Trey. No, okay, we're back. Okay, so yeah,
two down now.
Yeah, 2 quick outs here for the Mustangs. The Mustangs lineup offensively is going to look just like it did last night. Just to recap, Luke Esquivel in the leadoff spot, Zach Goldstein in the 2-hole. Got Jarrett Boswell hitting third again. Lolly Esquivel in the cleanup spot. Got Gianni Corral in the 5-hole. Hitting 6 is Colin Park, and this is Thomas Powers right now at the plate. He's our DH today. In the 8-hole, we've got Connor Ray, and then in the 9-hole, we've got Brady Boozer. I didn't get a chance to mention Gianni had a couple hits last night. Colin Ray had a couple hits last night. Several Mustangs really had good nights at the plate. I know Thomas Powers had a couple of walks that turned into runs for the Mustangs. JC, have you seen this Joshua team play any this year?
I have not. No, this is the first time I'm seeing him, but I believe the kid on the mound today is a sophomore. Looks pretty fluid right now, and looked like he threw a nice little off speed right there, and looks like just missed there.
Yeah, his name is Braden Payne, and he is a sophomore left-hander. So that's the first left-hander the Mustangs have faced in this series. Okay, Thomas works them for another walk right here.
A 2-out walk and see what they can do with it.
Yeah, I mentioned last night, definitely when we shut down the broadcast, that the Owls' top 2 pitchers went in games 1 and 2. It was clear from their district schedule. Jackson Philpott and Cody Rogers were their top 2 starters. So they've had to reach deeper into their rotation here for a starter today.
Yeah, these coaches have a big challenge on their hands with pitch limits when they get into game 3, or if they're in game 1 and a kid's not having it or feeling it that day, they have to kind of make some decisions to possibly bring him back later on in a game 3. So those pitch counts come into play a lot more in these 3-game series, especially on the game 3.
That's well hit, but not so well hit, right to the center fielder. So Mustangs leave a man stranded again and head to the bottom of the second inning, still in a scoreless ball game. Yeah, back to that comment you made. We'll just hang with you here during the break between innings. The third games in these playoff series, and I've seen it with the Mustangs the last 2 years, you get some crazy scores sometimes because you go deeper into the pitching staff, and most teams just don't have 4 or 5 guys that are shut down pitchers. The Mustangs were fortunate last year to have 3 seniors that were dominant, and also had some younger guys and other arms that could step in when needed. But you see some 15-12 type ball games in these game 3 of these playoff series. I remember we had one of those last year, I think against Argyle, and there's been some other ones that I recall.
Yeah, they have to get creative when they get in there, and like you said, it's a good opportunity for these younger guys to come into a pretty high-pressure situation typically and see what they can do.
It's a good point. These 10th graders, they're getting great experience. Win or lose, the next time they're in this spot, they're going to have a little more confidence. Yeah. We had our 9th grader on the mound for the Thursday night ball game, so hard to believe that he gets 3 more years of this.
And all that's going to do is just pay dividends when he's a junior, senior in these situations.
Definitely.
So we got the 4-hole here?
Yeah, this is Hernandez, the catcher at the plate for the Owls, and I looked at their lineup here. The only change I see is at the DH spot. I think they have a new DH in the 8-hole, and I'll get his name when we get to that spot in the order. But the rest of their lineup looks the same as it did. That's going to probably fall for a hit. So the Owls get a leadoff hitter on base. Not another one of those that wasn't really hit on the sweet spot, but drops in for a clean hit.
Yeah. Got a courtesy runner coming in for the catcher here.
Yeah. Unique to high school baseball.
Yes, it is.
It was kind of nice last night. Gianni had a triple. The Mustangs catcher, Gianni Corral, had a triple in the 6th inning, and we got to see him run all the way to third base. We're not used to seeing him run the bases, but he's got good speed. You just want to give those catchers a break when you can because of the wear and tear behind the plate.
Oh, absolutely, and usually he's typically catching each game, right?
Yeah, we had a doubleheader a couple Fridays ago, and he caught all but I think maybe 2 innings of that doubleheader.
Looks like he did go there to bunt and attempted it with the strike.
Yeah. They at least the way the game started, without anybody on the board, it's always nice if you can get on the board first.
Absolutely, and bunting is such a lost art nowadays. Everybody's enthralled with the long ball, but those who can bunt and bunt consistently through the lineup usually have a lot of good success, especially at the high school level.
Yeah, it's not a gimme play if you can lay down a good bunt, especially on the third base line. You've got a chance of getting a base hit or at least getting on base one way or another.
He lays it down.
He may go to second. He is. He gets him. Okay, so just like the Mustangs unable to execute the bunt, we pick up that lead runner at second base.
Yeah, this bunt positioning is so critical. When you get it right back to the pitcher, it's almost an automatic out for him. You got to get it up those lines, and like I said, it's a lost art getting it to deaden it, receiving it as opposed to striking at it. It's receiving that bunt off the barrel.
Yeah, it's not necessarily as easy as you might think to lay down a bunt when someone's throwing 85, 90 miles per hour. It's easy to do it when they're just flipping it in there to you. But when that ball's coming at a good velocity and a breaking pitch, you've got to bump the top half of that ball to get it down. And you definitely have to work at it. Mustangs, for the most part, are a good bunting team.
Yeah, it really is. And a lot of kids, they stab at it as opposed to using their legs to go up and down, putting that barrel at the top of the zone and use those legs to go down and get that lower pitch. And like you said, it's easy over here when we're 300 feet away, but when that ball's coming at you 85 and you're exposed with your chest, it's treacherous sometimes.
No doubt. You got to make a commitment and really square around. If you're only half committed, that's where you see a lot of these foul balls and pop-ups on a bunt attempt. This is Lilligore at the plate for the Owls. Need to do a better job keeping up with the ball strike count here. We are way out here in right field, so we don't necessarily have the best view of ball strikes, but just glad to be out here at the ballpark today.
I think we're 3-1 right now.
Okay.
Swing and a miss there, 3-2.
Yeah, it looked like a good fastball from Ben. We know when Ben throws strikes, and Coach Webster talked about this in the last series before one of Ben's starts. If he's got his fastball and his breaking pitch working, he can be a two-pitch pitcher and be very effective. Nice play right there by Lolly on a chopper to get that second out.
Yeah, pitchers, if they stay around the zone, they're going to tend to have a lot of good things happen. It's when they start getting way outside 2-3 balls off the plate or up and down, and they're a little erratic. If you can live around the zone, you're going to have a lot of success.
That's a good point. It's rare, especially at the high school level, to find a team that's just going to pound balls, to the fence against you. So if you've got any kind of velocity and can throw strikes, you've got a chance as long as your defense plays behind you.
100%. Pitchers have a big advantage, I think, in high school. Just those that live around the zone have a huge advantage.
This is Trevor Rodriguez at the plate for the Owls. Their center fielder.
Got 2 balls right now, no strikes.
Missed inside right there, it looked like. The change I mentioned at DH for the Owls, Oakley Boatman is in the DH spot tonight, and he'll be batting 8th. They're at their number 7 batter right here. This is actually Thomas Rodriguez. There's a strike. Got 2 outs here. If you're on infield, you've got to keep that ball in front of you and try and make them get 2 hits to score a run, even if you can't make the play at first base.
That's a good job by the pitcher right there. Just even on the fake, that guy was getting a pretty nice lead at second.
Yeah, if you can hold them tight, then you actually give your outfield a chance to throw them out at the plate if they do get a single to the outfield. So 3-1 count right here on Rodriguez. It's going to be a base on balls. It looks like Ben was missing mostly inside on that at bat. Boatman's a right-handed batter. I believe the DH they used the last 2 nights was a left-handed hitter. Good fastball right there by Ben to get ahead.
That's the other critical thing too, and whether it's high school or any level, is getting ahead. That first pitch strike is so huge. It just changes the odds in your favor as a pitcher tremendously.
I agree. And if you're a hitter, get in there and be ready to hit it.
Looks like Gianni took one off the arm.
Yeah, it looked like a breaking pitch that I thought the hitter swung through, but he must have foul tipped it, given that Gianni is a little shaken up on it. And obviously it's a dead ball. Gianni is taking some licks here in the playoffs in the Brewer series. Early in one, and I believe in game 2, he took a bat off the left arm early in the game, and then got drilled in what looked like to me is upper left side of his ribs, and actually had to leave that game for an inning for an injury replacement. But again, another unique high school rule, was able to come back in the game.
Yeah.
And I got to admit, Trey pointed that out to me, that you could do that. I didn't actually realize that a starter can leave the game but re-enter.
He does. He has 1 re-entry, including the DH. They're just locked into their spot in the lineup. So as long as they come back in the same spot they left, they're good.
Okay, Ben gets out of the inning right there, so no damage. Mustangs strand an Owls base runner right here, so we're headed to the top of the 3rd inning already in a scoreless ball game. You're watching Mustang Baseball live on Tradio. We'll be right back with you.
Trey, I couldn't hear what you were saying. You need to tell them where the runners are and everything, because the picture's only in one place. Okay.
trying to do that. Trey, we don't have any ambient tonight, so we don't have to worry about going to break. Is that?
Not yet. I was gonna.
Okay.
But anyway, we're already in the top of the third.
Already in the top of the third. We could move up here in the shade, I guess.
Yeah. And I think that kind of obstructs, right, the view.
Yeah. If Trey's sitting down, we'd be blocking his view. So we appreciate your patience today. Again, we weren't even sure we would be broadcasting this game, and fortunately, we're able to get started just a little bit late. Got Brady Boozer leading off the top of the third inning for the Mustangs. Coach Webster's going to have a talk here with the home plate umpire. I'm not sure what about. Maybe try and slow down the pitcher. I'll tell you, the Game 1 and Game 2 starters worked really quick, almost to the point of quick pitching our guys. JC, tell me what's the rule there on do you have to give that batter an opportunity to get set up in the box, or tell me how that works?
Yeah, you absolutely do. It's a safety rule. So you want to make sure that the batter is alert to the pitcher before the pitcher comes set and or starts his motion. So you want to make sure that he's in there. Usually the umpire will have his hand up right now, before the inning's dead. Make sure everybody's in the spot that they need to be, everybody's alert, and then he'll give the mechanic to put the ball in play.
I can't think of anything else that Coach Webster would be talking about there. Okay, got a hit by pitch. So Brady's going to trot down to first base. Got it in a good spot right on the rear. With the one spot, you got a little bit of padding.
Yeah, sometimes you'll get the coaches that'll come down and want to tell you, hey, can you keep an eye on this? There might be borderline of an illegal pitch. They're just asking you to come down and keep an eye on some things sometimes.
Yeah.
Tell them we're getting the cameras set up.
Okay, yeah, we're still working on getting our additional cameras set up, so we'll have some more views for you as the game progresses along. But, again, thanks for your patience, and at least you do have this view from right field currently. So we've got Luke Esquivel at the plate. He's in an 0-1 count right here. Brady didn't have much of a lead at first base. That's a base hit. Brady's going to go 3. Well, no, he's going to hold up. Okay. He's got good speed. I'm a little surprised there he didn't challenge that right fielder, but nobody out. So there's a old baseball rule says don't make the first or the third out of third base, so maybe we didn't want to violate that rule.
Absolutely correct. It's be interesting to see if they let him swing away here, if they're going to bunt the runners and move the runners over.
I would bet on a bunt, but let's see. This is Zach Goldstein. Takes that for a ball, but he was squaring. That one hopped the catcher back there and made a good stop. That's Rodriguez behind the plate for the Owls.
This is here where you have that lefty. That's a benefit. If he can lay that down right, your odds increase pretty significantly of everybody being safe if he can get it down that third baseline.
Good point. Very tough play for that left-handed pitcher to cover that third base side. Catcher plays that one, but we do advance the runners. So Zach is 1 for 2 on bunts today.
You saw how close that was there, and that bunt didn't get very far, and you just force everybody to speed up, and first baseman did a good job of gathering that.
You're exactly right. Yeah, Zach was only out by a step right there, so good spot here for Jarrett to get the Mustangs on the board with runners at second and third and only 1 out. They're going to put him on base. Just not even going to throw a pitch, just put him on base.
brings that force play back into effect. You've got the infield fly rule in effect now as well again. So
Yeah, makes sense. But I tell you what, if you had watched Lolly hit all of the regular season, you probably wouldn't like this spot. Lolly's bat has cooled a bit here in the playoffs, but I'm pretty certain he'll find it here. This is, I think, a good matchup for him against the lefty.
well,
Oh, we got a break there. Now we're going to go home on the – okay, Mustangs going to pick up 2 runs right there. Yeah, the Owls looked like they might turn 2, but that throw to the first baseman was in the dirt, and he couldn't come up with the pick. So Mustangs on the board again early tonight, up 2-0.
yeah, Joshua coach made the right call, you know, putting him on, and he got exactly what he wanted. A nice little routine chopper to short, just wasn't able to turn 2.
Yeah, it was a tailor-made double play ball. He got what he wanted, just the Owls didn't execute all the way. So we got Gianni Corral at the plate here with a runner at first base and 2 outs. Got Lolly at first base. That's a base hit to right field.
That's going to drop.
So Gianni stays hot. Gianni, I know, had 2 hits in game 1 and had at least that triple last night in the 6th inning. May have had another hit I'm forgetting about.
Right. To your point earlier from, you know, just letting your, you know, make the pitches, let your defense play behind you. You see there, you got to make a catch, you got to make a throw and another catch.
Yeah, and that's a well-hit ball.
Oh.
You know, he's going to make the play.
Great play by shortstop.
Yeah, good play right there. That
The ball was hit hard.
that's Chittum right there at shortstop, and he has been playing a nice shortstop for the Owls. But yeah, that's a good point. There's several things they had to execute there to turn 2. They obviously came up with the ground ball, made the relay throw to second, but then the throw to first is where they failed to execute. And 3 things had to go right for them to turn that double play. Whereas if they get a strikeout there, that's an out that doesn't move anybody. And that's honestly one of the problems the Mustangs had on Thursday night. They had runners in scoring position, actually runners at third base with less than 2 outs, but had too many strikeouts in that spot and stranded those runners as a result.
That's it. Having productive outs. Productive outs.
So Mustangs here now sit on a 2-0 lead here going to the bottom of the 3rd. And this is last night the Mustangs scratched for 1 in the 1st inning, another run in the 2nd inning, and had that 2-0 lead until they got to the 5th inning and picked up the pace with a 3 spot in the 5th inning and then closed the game out in the 6th inning with 5 runs. So hopefully that trend continues for the Mustangs. It'd be nice to get on a big lead again, but certainly nice to send Ben out to the mound with a 2-run lead.
So it looks like we have 9-1-2 coming up here for Joshua.
You are correct. Yeah, Bosher in the 9 hole has actually been a tough out for us. He had 2 hits on Thursday night. Don't have last night's box score in front of me, but I know he had a 2-hit night Thursday night. Ben's about ready to bring that first pitch. Good fastball right there to get ahead. That's going to be, Connor Ray's going to go back and get it for the first out.
Hung that curveball a little bit, but he didn't get it square, and shortstop made a nice little play on that.
Yeah, it looked like it was hit better than it was. I think he caught it off the end of the bat. They had a couple of hits like that last night, though, early in the game. Balls that just barely cleared our infielders.
Mm-hmm.
So this brings them back to the top of the lineup. Chittum, and he's been a very pesky leadoff hitter for them. Has worked several walks, got at least one hit I recall, but just has taken a lot of pitchers into deep counts and made them work to get them out. Yeah, as he already finds himself ahead 2-0.
Yeah, it looks like last night he was 1 for 2 with a walk.
Okay.
So he was on base twice. That's pretty good OBP.
Pretty sure on Thursday night, similar line, hitting a walk. That's going to be an out, though. Should be Brady's going to go get that on the right field line. So nice to retire Chittum right there.
You know, it's kind of like the first pitch strike, the leadoff out in an inning is also real critical in being successful.
Yeah, this is our 2-hole hitter, Berkner. And Berkner, we really shut down Thursday night. He went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, and about the time I mentioned that last night, he got a base hit. So I probably shouldn't mention that again. Took that one, looked like down and away for a ball. So on the ground, going to get up the middle for another hit. So he's found something since Thursday night.
Now you put a nice swing on that big kid, too.
Yeah, he is.
Looks like he's got some power there.
He's their right fielder. This is their first baseman, Massey, at the plate. Massey had a RBI double on Thursday night. We held him quiet last night, but he came into this series on fire in their last playoff series. In the okay, that's softly hit on the infield. Let's see if Colin can get it. No, Brady's going to come get it. Nice play, Brady.
Great catch.
Brady came a long ways to get that one. That was going to be a really tough play for Colin right there. So good job by Brady taking charge, and Mustangs strand a runner again and take that 2-0 lead to the top of the 4th inning. You're watching Mustang Baseball live on Tradio. A little surprised the crowd isn't bigger today. I got to tell you, we had I think the biggest crowd on Thursday night. Had another big crowd last night, but I just don't see as many people standing as I've saw Thursday and Friday night. The bleachers are full, but this is obviously the biggest game of the series.
Yeah, it's a great day. I'm probably about 75 degrees with a nice wind. It's a beautiful day for baseball.
Yeah, only other thing I can think of that would be comparable would be on the golf course right now.
That was my other choice.
You like your dress for golf.
I'm ready for it, just in case.
I played yesterday at Frisco Lakes.
Okay. How was that?
That's one of the better courses I've played in the last couple months. The greens are in good shape, unlike some of the other local courses that have a lot of poana. I can tell you Grapevine has a lot of poana. I've played it several times in the last couple months. The greens at Frisco Lakes are in good shape. The fairways are in good shape. And they've repatched a lot of dead areas with new sod. So if you don't mind the drive over there, for me at least, it's a bit of a hike from Grapevine to Frisco. It's well worth the drive.
I may have to look into that here in the next few weeks.
And another thing is, so you can get a tee time there. You know, it's tough sometimes to get a tee time on a Friday or Saturday. Got Thomas Powers leading off the top of the 4th inning for the Mustangs. Thomas walked in his last at bat. Takes that one for a strike to even the count at 1-1. pitch missed down right there to make it a 2-1 count. Okay, that missed also to make it 3-1. Payne is a little bit of a right-handed version of Cody Rogers. Not an overpowering guy, not really a big guy, but seems to be around the plate most of the time, and came back there and got that second strike to make it a full count.
See what he can do here. See if he can work a walk or base knock.
Oh, went down looking right there. I don't know if he thought it was inside, but the umpire didn't agree.
It looked good.
Yeah, it was.
It
definitely
had the right height. I know that.
I agree, and we definitely can't see in and out from here. We can see height. We can't necessarily see if it's on the plate or not.
You know the old rule: don't leave it up to the umpire.
Good point. Oh, Connor Ray gets a hit by pitch. Like he was going to square for probably try and bunt for a base hit there, but that's one way to get on base. That's now
it's two
right? Hit by pitches. Yeah, Brady, who's at the plate now, was hitting his first at bat. Connor's got good speed at first base. Haven't really tried to run much. Luke had a base stolen last night that turned into a double play on a line drive. Brady swings and fouls that one off for the first strike.
Looks like he was sitting on that pitch too. He took a big hack there.
Yeah, it was a fastball. It looked like he was out in front of it. Okay, that one misses away. Rodriguez had to go get that one over in the right-handed batter's box. Got Massey at first base holding Connor Ray on. Brady swings through that one right there.
I noticed over the last three pitches, hit first pitch, high leg kick. Second one, he went more with the slide, and right back there, he went with the high leg kick.
Boy, if you could catch him with the high leg kick, that's the time to run.
Sure is. Did it again.
And honestly, in a 1-2 count, that's not a bad pitch to run on, because sometimes they're gonna throw that ball outside the zone, and unless it turns into a semi pitch out, if you get a breaking ball in that 1-2 count, that's going to help your chance of stealing the base.
It sure does.
Gets Brady swinging right there. It looked like that might have been a curveball. Brady swung through it. So that's going to bring Luke to the plate here with 2 outs and Connor Ray at first base. That's a pass ball or wild pitch. We're going to get Connor to second base. Luke had a single in his first at bat. Be a great spot for his second hit of the day here and pick up that third run for the Mustangs. Rodriguez is having a workout back there. There's a lot of pitches missing down.
Okay.
That's going to make it a 2-0 count here on Luke. Sit on something and drive it. Actually, that was ball 4.
Camera 1.
I missed a pitch.
This guy's working quick.
Yeah, I got to believe that's what Coach Webster talked about earlier.
Camera 1.
Maybe he felt like our guys are getting quick pitched.
I haven't seen anything that would do it. He's just not. He's not wasting much time out there. That guy gets set. He's ready to go.
And honestly, that's the same way the first two starters, Philpott and Rogers, were. They worked very quick. So I'm sure it's something the Owls coach stresses.
Base, so like this.
See, the crowd's getting into it now. It's starting to get a little louder that we can hear out here, and they're waking up.
Yeah, I can tell you from my drive out here, there was a wreck on Marine Creek Boulevard or something that backed things up about 15, 20 minutes. So maybe some of our crowd's late arriving.
The back close to the ball.
Get down, ball. Let's hit the left field, but it got him. Left fielder misread that one.
He did.
That's going to be 2 more runs for the Mustangs.
Big hit right there, 2 outs, strikes in 2. He just took a bad angle right off. I don't know if he didn't see it off the bat, but he took a real sharp angle as opposed to being deeper.
Yeah, Zach hit it pretty well, but I really thought the left fielder was going to run it down, and he misjudged it. He just didn't get a good jump on it. But Zach did hit that ball pretty well to the opposite field. So
he absolutely did.
Great job there, Zach, picking up 2 big runs. That's another base hit. Or no, right at the center fielder.
Oh,
he dropped it.
He dropped it. That's right. Great job by the second base umpire being on that, staying on it.
Wow. Yeah, that was definitely an error there, even though Jerry hit that
right
ball hard.
as well.
Center fielder just dropped it, didn't squeeze it.
You want me to zoom in on the first base, on the
Mustangs now
Boswell?
On a 5-0 lead, and I have a feeling the scorekeeper will probably call Zach's ball a hit, but that right there is most likely going to be an error. In fact, it's got to be an error.
It's got to be an error,
yeah.
Well, he got past him.
Yeah, Jared's going to go to second on probably a pass ball there. That should have been gloved.
Stay with him.
That's tough for a pitcher there too. You know, he's making the pitches, and he gets a routine ball out to center, and the kid, I just lost concentration or took his eye off it. Hit his glove, and I thought he didn't squeeze it. It just kind of popped out.
Yeah, and don't want to pile on. He knows that he should have made the play, and I'm sure feels bad enough about it.
Okay.
So, yeah, two errors according to the scorekeeper right now on the Owls.
Which has accounted for 3 runs, I think, right?
Yeah. So we got Lolly at the plate here with Jared at second base now. 2 outs. Love to see Lolly bust out right here. I mentioned he just torched the ball all of the regular season, but has cooled a bit here in the playoffs.
Okay.
That's well hit. That's down the line.
That could
He's going to
be 2.
score another.
Great job.
Yeah, I know that felt good to Lolly. It had been a minute since he had really smoked the ball like that. He hit 20 of those in the regular season. Seemed like everything he hit was one hop of the wall.
Yeah, I hear you.
And that's 4 runs this inning on 2 outs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been huge. You get to 2 outs, and you should get out of most of those innings, but Mustangs now find themselves up 6-0 here in the top of the 4th inning. You got to like this start if you're a Mustangs fan, which Tradio is.
And this kid, Joshua, too, they're going to have to start. I mean, his pitch count, he's at 55, 56 pitches already, and we're still in the 3rd. That's 20 an inning, and you wonder how long he's going to be able to go before they make a change.
Well, no coincidence. I see a catcher headed towards their bullpen, so they no doubt are going to get someone hot in a hurry. So we got Gianni at the plate now. Gianni had a hit earlier. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's missing, not just missing, he's missing by a lot.
he's down 2-0. Last thing you want to do is leave one out over the plate.
Another ball right there that missed down and in.
Okay.
Tell you who we may see in this game on the hill for the Owls is Massey pitched Thursday night, and Mustangs did get a run off of him, but he looked like a decent option for them if they have to go to the bullpen. But there is another non-position player warming up over there in the Owls bullpen, another right-hander.
4-pitch walk, and catcher's going out there to talk to him a little bit, give that guy a little time to get loose in the pen.
Yeah, I'm sure that's got something to do with it.
Yeah, I guess so.
When I looked at the Owls season, what I saw was in their district games, they tended to hold the opposition to a couple runs. But when outside of those games, I saw some high-scoring games. That may get down.
That's in. That's in. That's going to
probably
score
two more runs. Mustangs, he's sending Connor. Yeah, he's going to score. And we've got Colin going 3. He's there. Wow. 8-0 Mustangs early. Boy, Colin found that right field line last night, and he finds it again today. And I noticed this last night. Their right fielder was playing a long ways off the line, so if you hit anything over there, it was pretty much a guaranteed triple. And Al's coach is coming out and probably going to make a change here.
Yeah, and that's one thing I think if kids focused on that more, when they come out of a meeting with the catcher, the coach, he's wanting to throw a strike. If you're looking for it, it looks like Colin was there. You know, you just put a barrel on it, and good things are going to happen.
You're right. That's a good point. Look for a strike and be ready when you get it. Okay, we do have a pitching change here. Let me see if I can get a name to go with the number.
What's the score now? Yeah.
Okay, this is Xavier. I'm sorry about if I mispronounce his name. Grijalva. Xavier Grijalva. Grijalva.
Didn't Luke throw that game as well?
And he is a right-hander. We haven't seen him yet in this series. Just watching him warm up, not overpowering.
We talked about it again. That's, 2 outs, 6 runs. It's just amazing that how teams can just keep grinding and grinding and grinding, and keep putting the ball in play and good things happen. And
yeah, and quite honestly, the Mustangs have been doing this most of the season. They just from 1 to 9, they have guys that can do damage. There's no easy outs in that lineup, and that's why they've put up double digits so many times this year. Last I looked, I think with last night's game and one of the Brewer games, I think they have 16 games this season where they've scored double digits, and that's a lot in a 7-inning game.
The camera angle, I'm on the pitcher still.
Most definitely.
And Trey and I have compared this year's version of the Mustangs to last year's team, and that's one area where I think they're actually a little better this year is their hitting. We'll see how that plays out from here on out. But I love this start by the Mustangs today.
I haven't seen a lot of them over the last couple of years, but the games that I've seen that they've played is they just wear you down. They just keep coming at you, bunting, putting pressure on the bases, and that's what I've seen from them the couple of games I've watched.
Yeah, no, you're right on target because they definitely will bunt, and with maybe an exception or two this year, will bunt anywhere in the lineup. I've seen our number 3 hitter, Jarrett Boswell, been called on to bunt this year. So,
and that's that tells you something too about the team and the chemistry when a 3-hole hitter's going to bunt and they're okay with it.
Yeah,
that's a good thing from a culture perspective.
Yeah, don't try and get a 3-hole hitter in the major leagues to bunt. In fact, they rarely bunt anyone, but I don't know that I've seen anyone in the middle lineup bunt in the last 10 years. In the major leagues, that is.
Right.
But it's a different ball game here in high school. Sometimes those bunts turn into base hits. Another hit by pitch.
Zoom in on the guy going to first base.
And I'm starting to see it more and more. I watch a lot of high school baseball each year, and I'm starting to see the bunt coming back into play more and more. And I like that. I'm a fan of the bunting, and I know some other folks aren't a fan of small ball, but my philosophy is you bunt. I'm going to bunt until you stop it, and if you can't stop it, that's on you.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. And I'll say this too: if you are going to play for 1 run, and that's typically what when you're bunting a guy over, you're just trying to push 1 run, maybe 2 runs in scoring position, but you better have. Ooh. That's in the air to left field, but looks like he's got a beat on this one. So. Long inning right there, and a great inning for the Mustangs as they scratch for 6 to get a 8-0 lead here headed to the bottom of the 4th inning. You're watching Mustang Baseball live on Tradio.
Yeah, I'm there.
It's R2-G3, correct? First play of the game there, ground out to shortstop.
Talking about what?
Okay, good start here to the 4th inning. I believe that's just 2 pitches by Ben Chin. Gets a ground ball first out, and then a ground ball second out right there. Play made by Colin Park at second base. And
Who is?
the Owls are in the middle of their lineup. That was Hernandez, had the first ground out, and Strebner had the second. We got Lilligore at the plate now for the Owls. 2 outs, and Ben's thrown 3 pitches in this inning.
And this is something as a team with your hitters, you don't want to come out and swing at first pitches. When you just had a long inning, you want to let your guys rest a little bit, you know, slow down the game a bit, and you have 2 first pitch outs. You know, they need to take a pitch or 2.
That's a good point, and honestly, the Mustangs were in that spot last night. They didn't give up big innings, but, you know, they had quick first 2 outs, and I even made the comment that sometimes you want to have that next hitter take a pitch just to slow things down, and one of those quick starts to an inning turned into a run. Thomas Powers worked him for a walk in that second inning and came around to score on a base hit by Connor Ray. Okay, well, so much for the quick inning. We got, I think, 4 straight balls after 2 quick outs to put Lilligore on first base. He's going to bring Rodriguez to the plate. Thomas Rodriguez, the center fielder for the Owls. He walked in his first appearance at the plate. See if Gianni's going to make that play. Foul ball. Gianni really bounces back there. You see, he was more than halfway to the mound to come out and play that ball.
He is quick.
Yeah, he's got to be one of the top high school defensive catchers in the state. We saw him throw a runner out Thursday night. Just an absolute laser shot.
I saw the game I watched earlier this year. He just does such a really good job of receiving, and he's got such a quick release. And he's playing at a different speed.
Yeah, and this is his 3rd year in the starting lineup for the Mustangs. He's still got a senior season next year. See if that stays in play. Yeah, it's going to stay in play for Jarrett Boswell, and the Mustangs are out of this inning and come to the plate here in the top of the 5th inning with a chance to get a couple more and maybe end this game early. We'll see if they can make it happen.
Zoom in on the pitcher? Or zoom in? You want me to zoom in on the pitcher or camera 1?
Club ladies can be angry with me. I wasn't over here to switch. Trying to get this back set up. We're about to be done with this game. You know? They could fit. If they get 2 more runs, it's all over. Oh, wait.
Okay, we're going to have Brady Boozer leading off the top of the 5th inning. Brady got hit by a pitch in his last at bat. Takes that one for a strike right there, down at the knees. That one misses down to even the count at 1-1. If you're just joining us, Mustangs are on an 8-0 lead right now. We don't have the scoreboard, it looks like. Yeah, we're working hard to get there, is what Trey tells me. But all the same, just glad to be out here today at Pioneer Field at Boswell High School, and really couldn't have scripted a better start for these Mustangs. That one misses up and away. Great day for baseball. JC mentioned that earlier. By Texas standards, not hot.
Oh, this is perfect.
Nice breeze.
3-2 count here. Let's see what he does.
That fastball he's out in front of again.
And that was not a 3-2 swing.
No, he doesn't cut it down much with 2 strikes. He's taking his hacks. Wow. Had another healthy hack at that one and fouled it straight back. That pitch was up around the numbers. Definitely a strike. That should get down for a hit. Okay, yes, Brady has a nice little single to left field right there to get the top of the 5th inning started.
Looks like he backed off that swing there a little bit and just tried to make some good contact, and worked out well for him.
Yeah, good job. 2 strike hitting right there. Actually, he got it off the hands a bit, but had enough strength to muscle it out to left field. He's going to bring Luke to the plate.
Yeah, and we're back at the top of the lineup again. Got a great jump there still in second.
Yeah, and with his speed, it doesn't take a great jump for him to steal the base. But Luke is 2 for 2 on the day already with 2 runs scored and a base on balls. So he's been on base all 3 plate appearances. Takes that one for a ball. That one's in the air. Let's see if it gets out of play. Okay. A lot of foul territory over there. Left fielder couldn't get there.
You know, we talked earlier about the importance of getting ahead in the count. Joshua's been living behind, and I think that's kind of put them a little bit at a disadvantage because the hitters they're staying back and waiting on what they want to hit.
Yeah, that's a great point. As a hitter, if you're in a 3-1, 2-0 count, you know you're probably going to get a fastball in that count, and if you don't like it, spit on it. But if you see something you like, you really should put a good swing on it. Nice play right there by the shortstop. Goes in the hole a bit and throws a 1-hopper over to Massey, who comes up with it to get the first out for the Owls. But Brady was able to go to third on the ball and puts a runner in on third base with only 1 out for Zach Goldstein, who Zach had that ball over the left fielder's head in his last at bat. And the scorer did give him a hit and 2 RBIs on that. The left fielder didn't get a glove on it. Quite honestly, he probably would tell you he should have been able to play that ball, but given a hit with no actual glove contact.
You know, he had that third baseman. You could tell, I think Joshua has a little respect for the bunt because he was playing up earlier. He's back now, but the first 2 pitches he was up on the grass, and now he's back in his regular position.
Yeah, they've seen Zach lay a good bunt down that left field, third baseline. He did it last night, and they had no chance to get him. So they have to honor that possibility.
Big hack there just out in front.
Yeah, got that 3-1 count and looked like he was had his head out here in right field with the Tradio crew. That's going to score a run. Okay, so ground ball right there to second base for the second out, but the Mustangs plate their 9th run here in the top of the 5th inning. Got 2 outs, and the Mustangs are sitting on a 9-0 lead. Zach's 3rd RBI on the day. Brings Jarrett Boswell to the plate, who takes that first pitch down for a ball. That's well hit. Let's see if it's going to get down. Yeah, it's going to be another hit right there. He's going to hang it first right there. Long single right there in the left center gap. That brings Lolly to the plate. Lolly had that rocket down the left field line for a double in his last at bat. Lolly's got 2 RBIs on the day. Like they let him off with a breaking pitch for a strike right there that Lolly looked at.
It looks like those corner outfielders are shading towards center too.
Yeah, we had a better view Thursday and Friday night, but I noticed they don't hug the line at all. And when we have gotten balls over there, they've turned into triples.
Yeah, and the last one, you know, when Lolly hit that one down and he just pulled that one foul down the line, the kid's still shading out there.
Yeah, I guess that's just their strategy because typically when you see a guy like Lolly that's out in front of the pitch, you would adjust.
Looks like they may have heard us because he moved over there a little bit.
Okay, we better not make that comment again. That's going to fall for a hit.
It is.
Boy, that was a cue shot. That looked really funny coming off the bat, and Lolly's going to go for 2. But again, the right fielder is so far off the line that he not only did not have a play, Lolly is able to get a double out of that, and that ball only traveled, I'm going to say, about 130 feet in the air.
Yeah.
But that when you play that far off the line, if you hit anything over there, it's just a lot of ground for the right fielder to cover. So Gianni comes to the plate here with runners at 2nd and 3rd. There are 2 outs, but the Mustangs are on a 9-0 lead. So if they could scratch for another run here and hold Joshua scoreless in the bottom of the 5th inning, this game would be over. That's pretty well hit. Let's see.
That's deep. That's now the wind just kicked.
Oh, they misplayed it. Okay. Actually, the outfielders came together, and Gianni's going to try and get 3, and he's going to get there. So it's 11-0 ball game now. Looked like the center fielder was going to make that play, but just not good communication. They all of a sudden realized they might collide, and I guess he pulled up at the last minute and didn't make the catch. But either way, Gianni hit that ball well.
Yeah, and I don't know if the wind played something in because it looked like it was still, and it like there was a gust because that flag picked up real quick, and like you said, those 2 guys came together and converged and didn't talk.
Yeah, no, the wind probably did move it a good bit. Definitely, that wind is probably blowing more right to left now, so moved it away from that center fielder. Wow, watch this. He beats it. So Mustangs pick up their 12th run right there. A little bit lucky. That was just a ground ball down the line that hit the bag. I think the third baseman probably makes the play if it doesn't hit the bag, but it pops up and gives Colin enough time to beat the throw to first base, that's going to be a base hit. So Mustangs back up a 6-run fourth inning with 4 runs here in the 5th inning, and they're still hitting with 2 outs and Colin Park at first base. Got Thomas Powers at the plate. Thomas doesn't have a hit today, but he's been hit by a pitch and also walked, so been on base 2 times already today. I don't look for Colin to run here, but I love the way he gets his lead. He always looks like he's ready to go. Thomas finds himself in a 2-0 count right here. It's a strike. Okay, another walk. So actually that was a 3-1 count he was in. So 2 walks and a hit by pitch today for Thomas Powers.
You know, Jeff, as we discussed this earlier, if my math's right, 9 of their runs have come with 2 outs in the game today.
I believe your math is right. Brings Connor Ray to the plate, and Connor has scored a run today, hasn't had a hit. Al's pitcher's having a little bit of trouble here finding the strike zone. That's hit in the air. Let's see if they're going to get there. Left fielder looks like he's tracked that one down, but not before the Mustangs scratch for another 4 runs to take a 12-0 lead here headed to the bottom of the 5th inning. If they can keep the Owls from scoring 3 runs right here, this game is over and the Mustangs move on to round 3 of the playoffs. Yeah, I feel pretty good about this one. When the Mustangs were up 9-0 last night, I told Hunter Paris that I was going to go on a short limb and say I felt pretty good that we were going to close that one out, and I'm feeling even better right now.
Yeah, it looks like if they next round they would meet El Paso de Valle or Abilene Wiley, I believe.
Wow.
And they had a game at noon today.
That sounds like some travel for the Tradio bunch. There's a lot of distance between here and El Paso, or even Abilene, but especially El Paso. One thing that really we haven't talked about much is the pitching by Ben Chin. Ben has held the Owls scoreless here through the first 4 innings, and other than one threat, I believe in the first inning, they only have 2 hits. Ben has not, actually he has walked 2 batters, but they really haven't had a serious threat to score with less than 2 outs. They did strand a couple runners, but has done a great job keeping them from stringing together hits or stringing a walk with a hit.
As we were talking earlier, it looks like Del Valle and Wiley played at noon, and Wiley beat them 14-0. So they're going to game 3 here in 20 minutes. They'll be starting game 3.
Okay. They must have had, I wonder if a weather issue, or did they not start the series until Friday maybe?
They didn't start till Friday, I think, because
Okay.
of the travel.
That makes sense.
So they lost, Wiley lost 4-2 on Friday night, and then won today 14-0, and then game 3 in 20 minutes.
Hey, Jay. Jay Finnegan, former Booster Club president for the Mustangs and all-around MVP for the Mustangs. That's well hit. It's going to get by Lolly for a base hit. Let's see. They're going to hold him at first base, but that reminded me, seeing Jay, that we do need to thank the 10th Man Club for making all this possible and having Tradio out here to broadcast these games. So Joshua has battled the Mustangs the whole time. No reason to think they're going to lay down right here. Ben gets ahead with a fastball for a strike. No, nobody out. This is
0-2 count.
Bosher at the plate for the Owls. Gets him swinging right there, I believe, for the first out. Yep. That was Boatman that had the single to left field to lead off the inning.
Apologize for tardiness on the scoreboard.
And I'm told we have the scoreboard now in play, but it's actually a 12-0 game, not 11. So it's still a work in progress. Okay, now we've got the right score. This is Chittum at the plate for the Owls, and he's been a tough out this whole series. Got on base twice in game 1 as well as game 2.
Yeah, I think Chen, like you mentioned earlier, Jeff, Chen's had a really good day on the mound. 58 pitches so far, and that's probably about almost like a little over a 12 pitch per inning average, which is fantastic.
Yeah, good to see him be efficient with his pitches. Occasionally he has a tendency to go a little higher with his pitch count. He's only walked 2 guys today, but tends to go into some deep counts, and good to see him today getting some quick outs. And I think, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but pitching to contact. He's only got 2 strikeouts today, but in the process he's kept his pitch count down, and if we needed him to go 7 innings today, he would be on pace to do that. There's a strike. So that evens the count at 2-2. Got 1 out, runner at first base. Doesn't get the call there on a low pitch. Must have been just below the knees. I mentioned this last night. Chittum really spreads out in that box, and I have to ask you, JC, when you spread out like that, does that adjust your strike zone, or is the strike measured when you're standing up, the knees to the shoulders?
Yeah, it's your natural stance as a hitter. So even if he crouched and did it, the strike zone is still the strike zone. It's their natural stance, so that's
Okay.
not going to change it.
Okay, because he's probably no more than 5'5", but he's almost got 1 foot on the front of the batter's box and 1 on the back of the batter's box. So, you know, his strike zone is already small, but when he spreads out like that, if you truly took it from his knees to his shoulders, it's probably only about an 18-inch window.
Yeah,
That's in the air to left field, probably going to get out of play.
Yeah, so it's the natural stance and where they're standing. So it's no different if they took their top and they crouched down real low, to your point, to where it's 12, 18 inches. It's kind of the natural stance when they're standing there.
Okay.
And then as they adjust, they can adjust. But what
Okay.
the umpires are looking for is that natural stance still.
Okay. So we got Berkner at the plate here. Runners at first and second. Still only 1 out in the inning. Okay, hit by pitch there. So he's going to load the bases here for Massey, who has been quiet today. Came into the series on a tear.
All right, so we have the infield fly in effect right now and a force at any base. 1 out.
Yeah, that run at third and even the run at second doesn't mean anything. The Mustangs just need to get outs.
There it is right there.
Going to go third with it.
Oh, pulled him off.
Okay, that was a good decision by Connor to go to third. He just threw that ball wide of the bag, and Lolly couldn't hold the bag and catch it. But that was really the only play he had. That ball was in the hole. So Al's push a run across to make it 12-1.
Well, this is important for them to get an out here.
Yeah.
The run on third doesn't mean the run on second changes. You know, you're going to go to another inning. It looks like coach is going to come talk to him a little bit.
Yeah, and there's no activity in the Mustangs bullpen, so he's going to stick with Ben right here. Just going to come out and try and settle him down and talk to the infield about, hey, where are we going to go with the ball? Let's make sure we get an out. They won't try and cut that run at third base, and at the plate unless it's the easiest play to make. Ball back to the pitcher, then we probably would go to the plate. But anywhere else on the infield, we would go probably to the nearest bag and make sure we get an out. And, of course, if we could turn 2 in the middle, that'd be extra special.
That's what you want coming out of a coach visit. You want to strike. So
Yeah.
ahead.
Good pitch right there by Ben to get ahead. Fouls that one back to make it an 0-2 count. It's like Gianni wants a high fastball. Let's see if he gets it. No, he gets a breaking pitch in the dirt. It's going to score another run.
It's the one thing you didn't want to happen there.
Yeah, I may have misread Gianni, but it looked like he was looking for a high fastball, but that might have been just a decoy type move because that was definitely a breaking pitch. So, yeah, now a 12-2 ball game, and the Owls have the chance to extend this to the 6th inning if they score another run. There's only 1 out. Runners at second and third now. That misses high and tight.
Like at the same time?
All of a sudden, this has turned into a bit of an extended inning for Ben, so we may see some activity in the Mustangs bullpen if he doesn't get this batter. He gets that hard return from Gianni. That's usually a sign of frustration by Gianni, and understandably so, right where we're at.
With the 4-hole up, he's got first base open, so you don't want to. No, that's he just filled it. So
yeah, he changed that in a hurry.
yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what I thought. It looks like Sam Gerard coming to the bullpen to get loose, and we saw Sam pitch in game 1. Actually had a little bit of bad fortune. There was a pitch, a 2-2 pitch in that game that looked like a strike that wasn't called, and the very next pitch was a base hit to score those last 2 runs that proved to be the difference in the game. But yeah, you just can't keep putting base runners out there without making the Owls swing the bat. Yeah, you see number 13, Sam Gerard, getting loose in a hurry. That's pretty well hit to center field, but Zach's going to make a play on it, but they're definitely going to score that 3rd run. So the Owls are going to extend this into the 6th inning for sure. Let's just hope it's still a 12-3 ball game when we get there. It's gotten so bright out here, I'm having trouble reading the lineup to tell you who the next hitter is for the Owls.
I think this is Lilligore, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, that makes sense. I believe he's the number 6 hitter. Okay, yeah, Ben's still having a little trouble throwing back-to-back strikes. Doesn't get the call there, so now a 3-0 count. Runners at first and second. We do have 2 outs. There's a strike to make it 3-1. Throws that one by him right there to make it a full count. Sam didn't throw that many pitches on Thursday night, so he's plenty fresh to come in today. Should be plenty strong and certainly has plenty of pitches available if needed. Okay, another base on balls, and we'll see if that
that could be it for him, I think.
Yeah, Sam's expecting a change. He's already making a move towards the bullpen gate. Yeah, they are going to make that move. Yeah, unfortunate there because Ben had really pitched well those first 4 innings and just lost it a bit here in the 5th inning. Seen that happen once or twice this season, just in total control, and then just has that 1 inning where he has trouble throwing strikes. I believe they only had 1 base hit in that inning. So the damage was self-inflicted by Ben.
Yeah, I had a longtime friend, Chad, who will always tell you, walks will kill you. Walks will kill you.
Yeah.
But, you know, he pitched a good game, and it just kind of seemed like he got out a little bit out of rhythm and got in a little bit of a hurry, which he seemed to be kind of in a good flow and a rhythm, and it's like he sped up a little bit.
Yeah. The Mustangs did have some long innings offensively. Maybe that didn't help his rhythm, but can't ever complain about being put on a 12-0 lead. But we've seen Sam pitch a good bit over the last month, and honestly, Sam has very good stuff. When he's throwing strikes, he's as hard to hit as any of the Mustang pitchers. He's got a good fastball and a good curveball, and he'll be pitching next year at the junior college level. I believe it's Centenary. I could be wrong about that, but I know he is committed to pitch next year at a junior college. So he's definitely got the talent.
Absolutely.
Looks like he's going to go out of the windup here with the bases loaded. If that's how you're most comfortable, no reason you need to go from the stretch with the bases loaded. Delivers the first pitch for a strike, so good start. Oh, good breaking pitch. Doesn't get the call, though. You can see he froze that hitter, and he's got the type of breaking pitch that will freeze that hitter like that. It's going to be a foul ball.
Yeah, it was a really good breaking ball. It just has to break a little sooner. It looked like it broke just a tad late, but you're correct. It froze the hitter.
Yeah, again, we can't see in and out. It had to probably miss inside. It's on the ground to Lolly. He goes down and is not able to make the play. So they're going to keep this inning going and push another run across, and bases stay loaded with 2 outs. That ball was down the line, but Lolly got there, but kind of went to a knee and wasn't able to come up with the ball.
They got 2 outs, or they got 1 out? Yeah, he swung.
First pitch strike right there.
Yeah.
It's a DH Boatman at the plate. He's the 8-hole hitter for the Owls.
Yeah, he was really fooled there.
Okay. Doesn't get away far enough to score a run, and right now with the Owls down 8 runs, they can't take a chance and take an out on the bases. So Sam is still way ahead. Just go at him with a good fastball.
A little off speed again.
Yeah, Boatman was way out in front of that one. I really like the fastball here. This is their 8-hole hitter, and Sam's got a good one. Just don't get fancy. Just throw it. If he hits, that's really Sam's best pitch. If he's going to beat you, make him beat you with your best pitch.
Yep, just bring it inside.
Pop up on the infield. I believe that's going to be played by Connor Ray. So the Mustangs get out of there, but not before the Owls score 4 runs and extend this game to the 6th inning. We've got a 12-4 ball game headed to the top of the 6th inning. You're watching Mustang Baseball live on Tradio.
You didn't like the in-between innings stuff?
Looks like Coach Webster had a team meeting right there, just to let everyone know, hey, this game is not over. I don't necessarily feel like the team relaxed so much there. It's just a case of we had trouble throwing strikes.
And that's the kind of stuff that'll drive the coach crazy. Is this, it's just that one thing, and then you get that one that bounces off a bag, or takes a weird bounce, and then next thing you know, they put 2 runs on the board and they got bases loaded.
Yeah, that's you're exactly right. That's how you turn a 1-run inning into a 4-run inning.
Yeah, he probably just told him, hey, you know what, get focused and finish this. You got to finish.
Yeah. I mean, if the Mustangs don't score any more runs, they've still got to get 6 outs, and stranger things have happened. So this ball game is definitely not over by any means. Got Brady Boozer at the plate for the Mustangs. Seems like Brady's led off the last 3 innings. Brady had a hit to left center in his last at bat. I know he's been hit by a pitch today as well. That's down the right field line, gonna hook foul. Hit that ball pretty well.
Didn't look like he did, but he just pulled it foul of the outfield fence.
He's been out in front of all the fastballs tonight, with the exception of that one he hit to left field.
Let's count.
There we
That
go.
should
Another
get down
one.
for a hit. Well, Brady picks up his second hit of the day. It's that leadoff hitter on for the Mustangs, and a chance to stretch that lead again.
I think you mentioned earlier he runs well. Will be interesting to see if he tries to take second here.
That's hit in the air. Probably going to be played by the center fielder. Yeah. No trouble with that one right there to send Brady back to first base. Bring Zach Goldstein to the plate, and Zach's 1 for 3 on the day. Got 2 RBIs. He thought that ball was going to get away from the catcher, but fortunately still gets to second on a high throw. He kind of got caught in no man's land and said, I better go to second base. So runner in scoring position here for Zach with 1 out. Good speed out there with Brady. Squares to bunt. I think he was just trying to bunt for a base hit. That's typically not a bunting spot. Got 1 out. Takes that one for a strike right there. Looked like maybe a high curveball that froze Zach. I feel like that left fielder may have taken a step or 2 back. Zach did hit that ball over his head earlier.
He is deeper.
That's going to get away. We're going to get to third right here with only 1 out. Hernandez has really had a workout behind the plate. They've thrown no less than 20 balls in the dirt today. There's 2 strikes. Another ball in the dirt that puts Zach on first base. And Hernandez fires back to his pitcher, so that's a contagious reaction by the catcher with a sign of frustration.
And this pitcher's working too. I mean, his pitch count's going up 1 2/3. He's already at 55 pitches. So he's been throwing a lot of pitches as well.
Yeah. Got Jared Boswell at the plate here. Runners at first and third, only one out. Hadn't seen that move much lately. The
Strike at first and third.
third to first. Hope he's breaking from first move. That pitch misses up and away right there. Wind's picking up, it seems. That misses down and away to make it 2-0. Another foul ball down the right side over here. Jared was just out in front of that, but hit it square.
No, I think it's like 2-2 or 1-2.
That'll give Will Newton a chance to stretch his legs and come pick up that foul ball. Will played some good second base last night for the Mustangs. It's a strike that Jared looks at, probably on the outside corner. Two-two count right here on Jared. Still only one out, and runners at first and third. He's going at first base. It's in the air, but probably going to get out of play. Jared's had a lot of foul balls in this series, and they've all been back in the wooded area. Probably owes them at least a dozen baseballs that aren't coming back. Another foul ball, but that one's going to stay in the ballpark. Another foul ball, and that's back in the trees. So I believe Jared's now, this will be the 8th pitch of this at bat, and just in a 2-2 count. That's going to get down for a hit. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, just foul again.
Yeah, kept hooking. Cleared first base in fair territory, but never landed fair.
They're wearing out those lines today.
Yeah, he's, I'm guessing that was an off-speed pitch. I got caught up in watching the line drive. So good at bat either way by Jared. It's the 10th pitch and fouls another one back. Just really making Grijalva work out there on the hill. Grijalva's got to be thinking, what do I got to do to get him out? Another foul ball. I may be off, but this is at least the 12th pitch of this at bat.
Jeff, some other updates around the Metroplex and baseball today. Southlake swept Friendship, so they'll meet Geyer next week. And Hebron advanced over Arlington, so in the 6A division. So there'll be some good local teams playing around here again next week. Plenty of baseball for everyone.
That's interesting. This Mustang team played a wild one against Hebron a couple months ago on a Saturday and pulled out that game 13-12. And I really wasn't sure what Hebron That's going to be ball 3 right there. We're going to
Oh.
score a run on a first and third steal attempt that goes into center field, and Brady comes in to score the 13th run for the Mustangs.
And another 2-out run scored.
Yeah, and Jared has now worked it to a full count, and I believe this will be the 15th pitch of the at-bat. That is in the air. Let's see. That's going to – yeah, it's not. It's going to be played by the right fielder. Zach will go to third on the fly ball to right field and be there with 2 outs.
2 outs here.
So really good at bat by Jared, even though he flew out to right field.
Yeah, you're right. 13 pitches.
Wow, I thought it was like 15.
It felt like it. He had a lot of fouls.
Felt like he went through a dozen baseballs. Bring Lolly to the plate here with 2 outs, and that's well hit. Let's see if the left fielder's going to get it. He's going to run it down. So Mustangs do scratch for 1 and get back to a 9-run lead. You've got 13-4 here headed to the bottom of the 6th inning. You're watching Mustang Baseball live on Tradio. We got Bosher leading off the bottom of the 6th inning for the Owls in a 13-4 ball game. Sam throws a fastball right there to even the count at 1-1. That one misses down right there, 2-1. Got Bosher at the plate for the Owls. He's the number 9 hitter. He's 0 for 2 on the day. He swings through that one.
Yeah, you definitely want to get him out as a 9-hole and before you flip the lineup back to the top of your lineup.
Wow, okay, he's going to put him on base with another walk. And quite honestly, that's really been the only negative of the pitching today is just a few too many walks. So the Owls roll back to the top of the lineup here with Chittum, who I've mentioned several times. He's been a pesky out in each game. Sam does get ahead of him with a fastball right there. That's on the ground. Connor's going to go get it. It's going to make, well, tough play. Tried to throw from his stomach right there, and I'm not sure he would have had the play at second, but throws it wide of Collin Park, and Brady comes in, backs that play up. Not sure. That's probably going to be a hit, would be my guess.
Yeah, I'd score that a hit. That was a good ball.
Yeah, Connor had to go dive for it. Would have been a heck of a play if he makes it at second.
Yeah, it would have been a great play. Pretty athletic kid.
Yeah, I'm really excited about seeing Connor play a couple more years. He's only a 10th grader. So Berkner at the plate for the Owls. Okay, again we find ourselves behind 2-0 from the mound. It's a fine line between working too quick and rushing, and maybe this is a spot where maybe you do need to slow it down a tad. That's on the ground, maybe two. We're going to turn it right there to get 2 outs. Ground ball to Collin Park at second, flips it over to Connor Rowe, who throws a strike over to Jarrett Boswell to get 2 outs.
Your pitcher just has a big exhale there, and
yeah, a bit of a bailout at least if we can get Massey right here, the 3-hole hitter. A good defense is a pitcher's best friend, and the Mustangs, for the vast majority of the season, have displayed a very good defense. That's in the air. Let's see who's going to play it. Looks like Connor Ray's going to play it for the 3rd out, so the Mustangs strand a runner and take that 13-4 lead to the top of the 7th inning. You're watching Mustang Baseball live on Tradio. JC, while we've got some time between innings here, the playoffs are unique compared to the regular season. In the regular season, we typically have a 2-man umpiring crew, and today we have a 4-man crew. Tell me, what are the advantages to having that 4-man crew?
The advantage of it is you always have an umpire in front of the runner, so you close all your gaps. The runner's always going to be boxed in, even on a rotation where an umpire is going to go out on a fly ball. You move to a 3-man rotation, so you're always going to have runners boxed in. So there are some things there's natural gaps in a 2-person system. They don't always happen, but they can. But in this, you kind of eliminate all that. So you've got all fly balls covered. You've got, especially on a forced play slide rule at second, you got a second base umpire who is not turning to first to get the other end of the double play. They're focused on that. They can stay on that the whole time. So you've just got complete coverage everywhere. Home plate has a lot less rotations, so they're able to stay home, focus on what's going on around the plate. And, everybody else is, there's pre-pitch communication, so everybody knows where everybody's going to be at. And it's kind of a nice thing just to watch these guys. Second base made a great play earlier on that one where the kid missed it in center field, and sometimes you can miss that if you pull off it too quick in a 2-person.
Johnny pulls that one foul. That's some great points, because I see sometimes with a 2-man crew, the guy out on the bases sometimes will have to make a out safe call on a tag play from 60 feet or more away, and that's just that's a lot of distance to make a bang call.
It really is, and the key always is trying to be set when you make that call, that you're set, not moving. So it's like trying to take a picture with the camera.
Gianni swings at a 3rd strike, but I think he's going to get on gets away from the catcher there, and he's going to get to first base on a strike 3 ball in the dirt that gets away from Rodriguez back there. I think he also took the throw somewhere on his shoulder from Rodriguez to Massey. So yeah, got Connor McDermott in as the courtesy runner for Gianni. Colin Park at the plate. Takes that one away for a ball. Just for example, right here, where would that, if in a two-man crew, where would that base umpire be right now?
He would be in what we call position B, which would probably be off to with just one runner. Or he's got one runner on. He'd be to the second base side of the pitcher.
So he's probably in that spot at least 70 feet away from making a call on a pickoff play.
Yes.
So to me, that's just a lot of distance, whereas right now, the umpire is probably no more than 15 feet from that bag.
Right, and what we typically want, we want angle over distance. I'd rather be further away with a better angle than be up close with a bad angle.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily always distance, but I want to make sure I'm in the right position from an angle so I can see everything. I can see the bag, the tag, and the base runner.
As long as you're not nearsighted, and then distance is an issue.
True, very true.
So while we're talking it up, Colin gets on first base, and we got runners now at first and second here with nobody out.
Fortunately, as an umpire, you get a lot of help from the folks in the stands, so, whether it's solicited or unsolicited.
Hey, you can get help from Tradio too. Tradio has been known to.
I've heard that.
Try and umpire from even worse views in the stands. We'll try and make calls from the outfield, beyond the outfield wall. Kind of where we are today.
Yeah, exactly right. Like, well, it looked like a strike.
Yeah. So Thomas Powers at the plate now for the Mustangs, and Mustangs threatening again.
You know, and I think, too, folks around the Metroplex, I'm not sure they are how aware of how much really, really good baseball we have in the Metroplex, whether it's 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A. There's a lot of really good baseball around here, and we're pretty fortunate to have those teams and great facilities as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt there's a ton of talent. There's just watch the Major League Draft just about every year, and you'll see a kid from the Metroplex go in the first round or two. Of course, we know Dr. K went in the second round this past season. Trace told me a little bit about that kid, Dason Hill, that pitched for the Mustangs last year.
Yeah, you had him. You have another guy who's pretty decent, Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah. Well, that was incredible that GCISD had two kids on the AL All-Star roster this past season with David Fry and Bobby Witt Jr.
That's right. That's pretty cool.
That's amazing. And we got A.J. Smith now up with the Braves, and coming off a really good start against Cincinnati the other day, went 8 innings, only gave up 1 hit, no earned runs, and A.J. has definitely got the stuff to be a dominant major league pitcher. When he gets in trouble, it seems like it's his control, kind of like what's hurt the Mustang pitching a bit today.
I mean, if you think even out of the district that Grapevine plays in, I mean, you know, obviously.
That's a base hit right there. No. Oh, nice play right there in center field.
It's a great play.
Yeah, diving play right there on a line drive hit by Connor Ray. That play was made by Rodriguez, Thomas Rodriguez, out there in center field.
Yeah, you think of all the talent that's been in this district. You know, you had Bobby Witt, who was at Colleyville Heritage. You know, you had the Argyle teams who, you know, they have a kid there right now who's amazing from what I hear. And, you know, you've had the kids that come out here.
That's well hit. Right fielder's going to go back on it, though.
You know, you had the gentleman from here that you said last year, the kid, you know, Tayson, who, you know, got drafted as well. There's a lot of talent in this district that they play in, so it's makes for good baseball.
Yeah, it's fun to watch these kids at the high school level and then see them at the major league level, and a ton of kids at the college level coming out of this area. That's what amazes me is Joshua had only one loss in their district. The Mustangs had only one loss this season, and there's a lot of talent in their district. They don't all just live in Grapevine, so it just shows you. Coach Webster actually talked about this in our interview actually before the Brewer series. He talked about, you can win with talent, but when you mix talent with competitiveness, then you can be really special. And that's what we saw last year from the Mustangs. They obviously had talent, but you mix that with kids that just hate to lose and do what it takes to win. And that's what this 2025 version of the Mustangs has displayed also year to date.
Yeah, absolutely. That competitiveness, that culture, that programs have, and kids gravitate to that. Once they buy in to the culture, it's good things can happen.
So Mustangs 3 outs here from advancing, have a 9-run lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and that's Sam Derard on the hill looking to close this one out. This is the center fielder, Hernandez, who just made that nice play on that line drive hit by Connor Ray at the plate for the Owls. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Two-one count right here on Hernandez. That one misses up and in, and sure, it's been a little bit of a long day back there for Gianni, but been an even longer day for the Owls catcher. Gets some swing and fouls that one off right there. Check swing goes foul down the first base line. Pretty quiet out here at the ballpark. A 9-run lead will do that really to both sides of the bleachers. Walks another hitter right there. We're going to get Okay, that was the catcher. I'm sorry, that wasn't the center fielder. That was the catcher. That's why we have a courtesy runner. We got Straybeck at the plate for the Owls. He's the second baseman. He's 0 for 2 on the day, and it's a foul ball out of play. Definitely don't look for the Owls to be running here down 9 runs. That's right up the middle. Should be 2. Collin goes to the bag and throws to first. Mustangs pick up another double play, and they're down 1 out here from advancing. Nifty little play right there by Collin. He was going towards the bag. It was a soft line drive. He gets it on 1 hop, takes a step, hits the bag, and makes a nice throw to Jarrett to complete the play.
That's a tough throw to make, and he did a good job of staying with it.
Yeah, because your momentum's going to third base there, and honestly, if you set your feet, you may not have time to get that runner at first, so he kind of threw from the air, kind of a jump throw. It's Lilligore at the plate for the Owls, and that's in the air. Should be played by Brady Boozer. He's under, and he makes the play, and the Mustangs win this one 13-4 to move on, and and huge game for the Mustangs, but they really took a lot of the suspense out of it early. Just got an early 2-0 lead. Actually, in the third inning, they went up 2 runs and never looked back. Came back in that fourth inning and put up a 6 spot to take a commanding 8-run lead, and then put up another 4 in the top of the fifth. Went up 12-4. We thought the game might be done right there, but the Owls kept fighting just like they've done this whole series. They got 4 runs and extended this to a 7-run game that the Mustangs won 13-4. But hats off to the Owls, because they definitely put a scare into these Mustangs. I can tell you, leaving the ballpark on Thursday night, it was very worrisome that the Mustangs could be done here in the second round of the playoffs. But huge response last night. Lolly pitched to Jim out there. The bats came alive and won that game easy. And then they came out today, and quite honestly, even though our pitching wasn't as good as it usually is, it was plenty good enough, and we had a big edge there. And again, the bats came alive. Just a dominant win by the Mustangs in game 2 and 3 to move on. JC, what did you think about what you saw today from these Mustangs and the Owls?
The Owls, they battled. They were in it. I think that inning where they had those couple errors and the pitcher just lost his rhythm, and that kind of, and Grapevine took advantage of that. Based on what I've seen of Grapevine, that they kind of do that to people like we talked about earlier. They'll just wear you down, and then when they smell blood in the water, they're going to go after it. And they did that today. They had that little hiccup in that one inning where with the pitcher, but other than that, they built a big enough lead. And I don't think this is the first time, based on some of our prior conversations, I don't think the first time that they get ahead, they typically tend to stay ahead. So good for them. Good series. It's probably good to get that loss out of the way early. You want to rather lose now than down in round 4, 3-4, or into the States. So good to have a little adversity and come back from it, and they can build on that now. And they're going to play the winner of that El Paso Abilene series, and trying to see where that score is on that game 3 right now, and it hasn't come up yet.
Well, JC, thanks for being with us today for Tradio. This is Jeff Knipper, and got Trey Bell on the production today. You've been watching Mustang Baseball live on Tradio, and look forward to seeing you back for round 3 of the playoffs.